We have seen some breaking news this afternoon, Gus. The Sydney Morning Herald is currently reporting that Lachlan Galvin is set to join the Bulldogs immediately. What can you tell us on this situation?
Yeah, it's not unlike the media to go running ahead with a story, is it? So it's a bit of a frenzy out there. Well, what I understand of the situation right at the moment is that Lachlan Galvin has expressed his desire to play with the Bulldogs. We still haven't closed off on a deal yet, and there are still some things that have got to be worked out with the West Tigers about his release there. So I would hope that in the next 48 hours we have far greater clarity, but Lachlan, to his credit, has come out and said his preference was the Bulldogs, so we'll try and accommodate that.
A month ago on 100% Footy, you said that the Bulldogs weren't interested in Lachie Galvin. What's changed since then?
Yeah, I don't think I used the term wasn't interested. What I said it was that we'd stick to our program. When he first told the West Tigers he wasn't going to play in 2027, he was still contracted till the end of 26. So as far as we knew, he would be playing with the Tigers again in 2026. Even if we wanted to sign him for 2027, we couldn't negotiate until the 1st of November this year. That's 18 months to hang around wondering whether or not you've got a player. So that didn't suit our time frame. I said we would stick to the program that we've got. What happened this week is the goalpost got moved incredibly, because all of a sudden we got a call on Tuesday from the manager to say that there was a chance they were negotiating a release with the Tigers and he would be available virtually now. Well, that's something we had to give consideration. Previously, we would have had to wait 18 months to consider him. And I think at the time I also said, you know, 3 or 4 years down the track, when he's the player I think he's going to become, he'll certainly be of interest to everyone. But right at the moment, right at that time, 2027 didn't suit our program, and it didn't suit us to wait around for that. The other part of that too is I needed to nip it in the bud, because I didn't want our coach and our players constantly answering questions from the media about any interest in Lachlan going forward. So it cleared it up straight away. This week everything changed, and everything's moved pretty quickly since Wednesday.
Short term, do you see him as a halfback or a 5'8"?
Yeah, that's really the coaches and the coaching staff's thing there. He's very versatile. He's played fullback, 5'8", halfback. The first time I saw him play, I thought he'd end up a back rower. He was a kid. He's a big, tall kid. I'm not real worried about where he plays in the short term. What he is a talented player. I know he's going to be a very good player, and we'd like to be a part of his development. The other part of not being available at 2027 is another 18 months in someone else's program. It's 18 months where we can't work with him. The fact that if we're successful this week, we could get to work with him now and be a part of that development process.
So being a part of that development process, then where do you see him playing in the long term?
We don't know. I mean, he'll tell us over that period of time. The coaches will work that out. But he's extremely gifted. He's a creative player. He's big and tall. He must be 6'2", I think, Lachie Galvin. And he's got the ability to play any position. So what I know is you win comps with talented players, and our aim is to eventually be competitive to winning premierships. And I think Lachlan Galvin is that sort of player you want in your club down the track.
Where do you see him fitting best into this team, Joey?
I haven't seen enough of Lachlan, but what I've seen, probably 5'8". As Gus said, he's a bigger body. I haven't seen much long kicking of Lachie. I've seen some short kicking game, which he, as we see there, his short grubber kicks are really good. But you see the size of Lachie, he's still got another big...
So what you've seen of him, do you see him as a really talented player?
Very talented, exceptional player. And you know what I liked last year, when he was a baby? With the game on the line, he was handling the ball 3 times in a row. And sometimes he didn't know what he was doing, but he just wanted to his hands on the ball. And that's what you want from a young player. When the game's on the line, the big moments, he wanted the ball.
So looking at the team at the moment then, if you see him as a 5'8", then how do the other players fit around?
Well, it depends how you play. It's up to the coach how they play, who they play at a dummy half, who they play at fullback. But if he's going there, immediately you'd say he'll be putting pressure on Toby Sexton to play 7 and Burton on the left, right foot, left footer. But it depends on the coach, how he wants the team to play. And what it does, it creates competition. Everyone's on their toes.
So what's the process now, Gus, for the next, say, few days?
So I haven't spoken to the manager since Thursday. I think he met with the coach on Wednesday evening. I haven't spoken to the manager since Wednesday. We had a brief discussion. I said, yeah, well, the interest is genuine if he's available now, not next year or the year after, which that'll be sorted out in the next 48 hours, I think. There are some legal matters he's got to do with the West Tigers around some other matters. We'll just let that play its course. And I'd imagine I'll be talking to the manager in the next 48 hours. It's going to be tough because I've got to go to Brisbane and get to Origin and come back and all that. But our recruitment staff and that can handle that with the manager, and we'll go from there.
Player managers can agitate. Has there been any calls off some young halves coming through at the Bulldogs? Someone like Mitch Woods, who is touted as a long-term NRL halfback.
Yeah, a good player, Mitch Woods. He's 19 years of age. He's had a tough off-season. He had a couple of injuries and hasn't played much football this year, but we've invested in him for the long term. He's a genuine halfback, so really happy with his progress. I think he was 19th man for the NRL last
But
week.
there's been no agitating from his manager to get out?
No,